Okay, alright guys, welcome to your PHP tutorial. For the next, I guess, 3 or 4 tutorials, we're gonna see something. We're gonna create a login logout system. When I say that, we're gonna create all of the functionalities that we need to create login and logout system, okay? So let's get started. So to create this thing, I have prepared a CSS file which is called screen.css that I'm gonna leave on the description below. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a project here. So let's call this thing log in log out. Okay, let's call this for the login logout. Okay, before I get started, I want to give you some introduction of the directory structure for our project. So to get started, we're gonna make some folders called includes that's gonna help us to include all of the files for our website, and then we're gonna do something. We're gonna make a folder which is called core, which gonna stands for the which consists of 2 things. The first one is database connectivity, and we're gonna have another folder which gonna help us to store the functions. Okay, so this will be the file structure, include core. I guess I don't know what we need. Just let's get started, and we will see how we're gonna do it. Okay, so in a includes folder, before here I have to make some CSS file to store that screen.css file. So let me call this thing CSS, and let me store that screen here. Okay, so to get started, we're gonna start by creating the index page, and let me save this thing as an index page. So save us. I'm gonna store it where I'm gonna store it in login logout system here, and I'm gonna type index.php. So this will be what my file will consist of, my page. Okay, as usual, I'm gonna use HTML5 coding writing structure. So I'm using a doc type HTML here. So first thing is first, I have to make the head, and I have to import. Let me give it a title first. Title, and there is a title also. So let me call this thing. Yeah, this thing makes sense for me. That's why I leave it like this. This will be the title, and let me import the CSS file. To import a CSS file, you will use a link tag here relative to style sheet, and I'm gonna use the href reference as css/screen.css. Okay, then let me go to the body. First, let me make a header. Okay, to create a header, I will use the HTML5 style. I will use a header tag here. In the header tag, let me create a logo. Just I'm gonna leave it just logo. I'm gonna give it a class of logo here, and I'm gonna write logo, and I'm gonna close my h1 tag here. So let me come to my browser here and see what I have so far. It's gonna be localhost slash login. Oh, sorry guys. It's gonna be localhost slash login log out slash index.php. This is my file name, so this logo will be created here. So let me create a navigation bar. So to create a navigation bar, I'm gonna use the nav tag here, and I'm gonna create an order list. I'm not gonna explain much of the HTML here because I guess that you guys have already come across with this thing. So I'm gonna create a list tag, a closing list tag here, and let me create a link to my home page. Okay, so let me call this thing home. Okay, so let me copy and paste this thing 4 times, that I will be able to create more links. Okay, so let me create this thing as, for instance, downloads. Let me call this thing forum, and let me make this thing contact us. Okay, so if I came here and refresh my page, I will have these beautiful links here. And let's go again, and let's create a navigation bar. Okay, navigation bar. So to create that thing, let me create this thing in the container. Let me give it a class of container here, and let me give it a div here. I'm writing this code because next up I'm gonna explain, and we're gonna break down this site into different chunks. Okay, that's why I'm explaining this thing. So to create the container here, let's make an aside here. Let's make an aside, another aside here. This is a HTML5 style of coding, by the way, if you're not familiar with it. So in the aside, what I'm gonna do, before, let me clear up the div here. I'm gonna type clear, then I'm gonna close the div here. Okay, so in the aside, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a widget. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a class of widget here. So I'm gonna close this thing. So to show the header, I'm gonna type h1 here. This is widget header. Okay, h1, just h1 is big. Let me use h2 here. So let me go to the div here and make a class of inner. Okay, then I'm gonna create a div here, and just let me write simple paragraph here. This is a widget inner or something like that. So before the aside, what did I make to do? I need to do a footer here. Just before I close that thing, just let me type a logo for the home page. Just I'm gonna make this to be home. Okay, and finally I'm gonna make a paragraph here. Then I'm gonna say this thing as follows. This is the home, or just let me use that thing, this thing, just it makes sense for me, like you can write anything that you want. So finally let me came here and write the footer, and I need to make a footer. Just let me delete one of the footer here. Just the copyright protection or something like this will be allotted here, the EOT. Okay, so let's come here and see what we have so far. Yeah, it looks nice, but the container class is missing, I guess. Just there's something missing here. There's a clear, there's a side here. Yeah, just the problem is I need to make this thing ID. Okay, it's not a class. So let me come here and refresh. You will have, boom, this awesome sweet looking site here. So on the next tutorial, we're gonna break down this template into so many forms. Till we meet on the next tutorial, thanks guys, keep on watching.